Hi everybody, my name is Indya Smith-Johnson and I'm a fine artist. My path to becoming a fine artist has been quite a long one. I actually went to school thinking I was going to be a pre-med major and go into medicine. But throughout my journey in art, I found that that's just really my passion and it's what I want to go into and it's what I want to make my career. And making that leap from going to wanting to go to medicine to becoming a full-time artist and a student was a really huge decision for me, and I needed a lot of validation and support from my community, my peers, and my family in order to be able to feel comfortable doing that and find my authentic path. And that's a message that I really want to share with other people. 70% of people are not satisfied with the available Pride merchandise. And what I mean by that is the retail companies like Target or Amazon that are selling mugs, etc., with Pride logos or LGBT-friendly logos that are just really boring. They're super flamboyant, they're really just rainbows, but they're not personable, they're not identifiable with the LGBT community, which is a super diverse group of people. And the merchandise that's meant to celebrate them doesn't actually accurately represent them. Indya Heart Studios provides handmade ceramic pieces, microwavable, dishwasher safe, and extremely durable. My selection of mugs comes with personalization and customization, and through my customer discovery, I've been seeing that people are super interested in customizing the handle shape, the size of the mug, the shape of the mug. They want to be able to customize the colors. And for my LGBT community, I want to be able to offer pronouns as a customization option. I want everyone to be able to identify with exactly what they're buying and exactly what's on the mug. I've also found that people are more interested in buying from companies or from businesses who have the same mission and values as them, and companies and businesses that they can feel like they connect with and support. And as a member of the LGBT community, I'm really excited to be that position. My mugs are able to be customized from pretty much any standpoint, and the pronouns are just one aspect. I also am in communications with retail lines in order to give custom lines of mugs for them as well. And these are just a couple examples of some of the work that I've done. I also want to be able to do a line of handmade mugs that have LGBT rainbow flags, and there's so many different Pride flags. And usually in retail stores and across Etsy as well, we see like 1 or 2, maybe 3 types of Pride flags, and there's so many out there. I want to be able to offer all of those options. Etsy is going to be my main selling platform, and even across Etsy, there's just a really lacking market right now of Pride merchandise. And I found that the most profitable mugs on Etsy and the ones that had the most sales were the ones that had that personalization and customization factor. So that's going to be really integral for my business. As I'm a fine artist and I've been practicing my craft for about 3 years now, it takes me about 15 minutes to make each mug on the wheel, and then 45 minutes to an hour total for all of the putting together, glazing, trimming, unloading, and firing the kiln. So it takes me about 45 to 60 minutes to produce each mug, and I plan on averaging each price out at around $45. And so within the first 3 months, because my material costs are low thanks to my status as a university student, my profit will probably start, I will probably start seeing profit within the first 3 months of launching my Etsy site. And within the next 90 days, I'm going to be working on launching that Etsy site, as well as doing some beta testing. I'm super excited to develop more minimum viable products with my beta testers. I've talked to a lot of people in the LGBT community so far, and I'm excited to continue talking to them about what they want to see in their products. I am also going to be working on building a social media presence. As I'm a full-time student, for the next 2 years, I am not planning on scaling my business to an extreme level just because my maximum capacity is probably going to be about 30 months a month for now. And as I continue to grow this business, I will also be able to continue to grow that capacity for me to be able to create as many orders as I'm getting. So I'd like to continue with customer discovery and social media activity. These are my socials as of now, and I do also have an email, indyaheartstudios@indyaheartstudios.com. And Thank you for your time.
So if you're keeping your initial volume to what you can produce, 30 bucks a month for 2 years, that's awesome. That sounds like the right thing to do. But what you have, I think, has a lot more potential than 30 bucks a month. I mean, a lot more potential. Impressive. So will you be bringing on people, training them specifically, just finding other artists? Are you thinking about having a shop? Or how are you going to scale from 30 bucks a month, 30 bucks a month?
Yeah, so there's actually slip casting firms. There are companies that do, slip casting, do you know what that is?
No.
Yeah, so it's really similar to molds. So you send them your product or your mug style or really whatever it is that you'd like them to make, and they make a mold of it, and then they make it out of clay. And then they're able to mass produce for you. So they get a little bit of that profit and you're able to continue turning over product. And something that I'd also really like to do is train other artists to do something similar. And there are several artists out there. There's a lot of ceramic competition, but there are small batch artists that make like pronoun mugs that have 1 or 2 options. And really what I would like is more versatility. So slip casting firms are an option and training other artists are an option as well.
What about expanding your product line? I'm a big like spoon holder. I've got a lot of mugs.
Yeah.
So like, will you expand upon the mugs or will you just be those?
Yeah, absolutely. I do plan on expanding to various different ceramics. One of the reasons that my mugs are so versatile and that I have so many different shapes and sizes is because I've been in an academic background with my craft for the last 3 years, and I love experimenting. And so the primary line that I'm going to be working on is the LGBT lines. But I'm also going to be working on really whatever is taking my interest as well. So that's definitely something I've been thinking about, specifically students. Yeah.
Have you looked into what your cost will be when you are no longer a student in a couple of years and how that will impact your costs and then your profit line?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, my costs are super minimal. It's mostly materials costs. There is a little bit of risk with my business because of the glaze chemistry with ceramics. If I have a misfire with the kiln, that's a lot of product that goes missing. If I have a glaze that malfunction, that's a lot of my time that I'm not going to be paid for or compensated for because I'm the sole proprietor of the business. So materials cost is a really big one, and I actually am now purchasing my own glazes because I got burned a little bit by the studio glazes. And I also have been acquiring ceramic materials so that I'm set when I'm out of college. I just acquired a kick wheel, which I've been doing demos on in downtown Iowa City, and that's been super fun. But I've just slowly been acquiring the materials that I'm going to need outside of college. And when I'm no longer a university student, I think I will be set up to a point where I'll be able to purchase those materials. Because over the next 2 years, even if I'm generating, a minimum of 30 mugs a month at $45 each, that's $1,000 profit a month after my first 3 months. So for the next 2 years, that will generate me enough revenue to be able to support myself on my own.
Great job, India. Can you talk about even beyond, you talked about vision for down the road and they mentioned a studio or whatever, what's your big dream behind this?
Oh yeah. One of the reasons I'm making mugs is because I love coffee. I am a huge coffee head. And at some point in life, I would like to own a coffee shop or some sort of bar scene or something like that has an open studio above it. For artists and teaching, that's another one of my passions. I love teaching art and teaching ceramics. So having an open studio is a huge dream of mine and being able to incorporate other artists into it as well.
Hey, so what do you see as your biggest challenge right now?
Probably getting clay materials. I want to be able to offer all of these different color options and all of this variety. But right now I'm confined to the studio glazes, and I've been doing research to figure out, there's a lot of chemistry behind it, and I've been doing research to figure out what cones of glaze I need, what colors I'm gonna be able to mix, what things are gonna be compatible with one another, how frequently I'm gonna need to fire the kiln, and all of the like nitty gritty details behind that. And really it's gonna come down to some trial and error. So I would say that's probably the biggest challenge, is not being able to start my beta testing until I have all of that set in stone, figured out, and reliable.
Have you been able to find a mentor in the community to help you out?
Specifically with ceramics or with business?
Anything that you do, ceramics, business?
Yeah, I found the community has been super helpful.
Say, do you want to enter the reasoning behind that question?
No, I was just wondering, if you were able to partner with a mentor that is also a ceramicist that could help you and guide you along the way. I mean, that's always helpful.
Oh, yeah. The university has been super helpful with that. I have found even my past instructors, and I'm actually retaking a class with the same instructor. It's a different class, but same instructor. That's been helping me a lot throughout the way, helping me figure out those glaze questions and things like that. And the University of Iowa studio is just wonderful. It's definitely a happy place of mine, and it's really comfortable to be there with all of the help and studio managers and everything.
So what's been your biggest takeaway going through the Hawkeye Student Accelerator this summer?
You don't know what you don't know. There's so much that I was like, I can just start an Etsy page and go off and I'll be fine. And I actually planned on doing that before I was going to be in the accelerator. I had an opportunity to go work under a ceramic artist in Montana, and it fell through, and I was interested in doing the accelerator, and I said, let's do it. And I am so much better off for it because there's so much information I have learned about financials, desirability, profitability, feasibility, going out and doing the customer research and basing my business off of what customers are actually going to want and need has been super valuable information. But that's definitely one of my biggest takeaways.
Well, I will ask the last question. What can we as a community do for you?
Yeah, I am still doing lots of customer discovery. So if you know anybody in the LGBT community, another segment I'm looking at too is gift giving. If you know parents that have LGBT children, giving a gift like this is a really, really great gift for somebody. It shows that you know them and validate them and appreciate them, and that they can be authentic with you. So if you know anybody that fits that category, and I'm also planning on doing retail lines as well that are not based in the LGBT community. So if you're interested in just drinking coffee, and if you use mugs frequently, I'm also interested in talking to you about that too.
Thank you.